You're at your friend's fiesta, sitting under the parasol on the patio, having a pina colada and a few tacos. And it's almost time for a little siesta before you go to the rodeo this evening. Wait, is that English? Well, if you're a Spanish speaker, good news. Yes, it is. You see, English is a rich language full of words taken from other languages. So maybe, just maybe, you know more English than you think. Today we're going to look at 16 words taken directly from Spanish that we use every day in English. And I think some of them are going to really surprise you. Number one is patio. So you have your house and you have your garden. And usually, well, often when you leave your house to go to the garden, there is a paved area. It's not grass, it's concrete. And people usually use that to sit, eat, relax. Well, that is your patio, a word taken directly from Spanish. For example, shall we eat in the dining room or on the patio today? The second one, excuse the English pronunciation, is plaza, which comes from the Spanish plaza, and it means a similar thing, which is a public space or a public marketplace in the center of a city. My first job was at the supermarket in the plaza downtown. The next one is poncho, and a poncho is a type of clothing. Imagine a jumper, a sweater, but without arms, okay? You put it over your head and it flops around the front and back. So while a sweater or a jumper has 3 holes, a poncho has just 1 hole for your head. Ponchos were very fashionable in the early 2000s. Next is macho. Macho is a term that we use in English to describe a man who is strong and very masculine. He's a macho man, or he's very macho. Now, in Spanish, macho also refers to the male of a species, macho. So, Sam acts macho, but he's actually very sensitive. The next word is cargo, and cargo, like car-go, refers to goods transported by cars? No, sadly not. By ships, by lorries, or by aeroplanes. Okay? For example, the ship was carrying valuable cargo when it sank. Now, if you're enjoying this, download the free PDF, as that includes extra Spanish words that are not included in this video. So you can scan the QR code, click the link in the description or the link up there to download that free PDF. And if you want me to do a similar video with words from your language, then put the name of your language in the description. And if it's possible, and if you like this type of video, I might do a video for you. But don't forget to subscribe, otherwise you'll miss it. Okay, let's continue. Okay, the next word is rodeo. Again, excuse the terrible pronunciation. This is how we pronounce it in English. Despite the fact that we have taken the word from Spanish, we change the pronunciation and make it English. So rodeo is rodeo. And this is a competition. It's a very American competition involving riding horses and cattle wrangling. Yeah, I'll put a picture there. But I went to a rodeo when I lived in the States. What a cool experience that was. I loved it. Okay, for example, my father loved taking me to the rodeo when I was a child. Okay, the next one is a word that you probably use a lot nowadays, incognito. This literally means to have your identity hidden or to be anonymous. But when you're on the internet and you want to go to a private browser like Chrome or Safari, I can't remember which, if it's Chrome or Safari, they are the two that I use, but one of them calls this private browsing session incognito. And this means that when you are browsing the internet in a incognito window, then your identity is hidden, it's anonymous. So not talking about the internet, we could say that famous people usually travel incognito to get away from the paparazzi. Okay, so to travel anonymously. The next word is embargo. And an embargo is a restriction or a ban on trade, okay, buying and selling goods between countries. For example, there has been an embargo in her country for many years. Okay, trading goods between that country and another country has been banned or restricted. Okay, the next one is an aficionado, and that means a fan, like a football fan in Spanish, and it means the same in English, but we don't use it for football. You don't say, I am an aficionado of Liverpool. No, we use it to talk about a person who's passionate and knowledgeable about a particular subject or activity, but usually not about things like football, because it's quite a formal and educated word. And when we're talking about football, we generally don't use formal and educated language. So we could say he's a coffee aficionado. He buys coffee beans from all over the world. The next one is armada, and this is a large fleet of ships, especially warships. Okay, a fleet of ships means lots of ships together. And we often talk about the Spanish Armada when we are talking about the battle in about the 1500s. Yeah. For example, the Spanish Armada was defeated in 1588. History is not my strong point, so let's move on. Number 11, incomunicado. And this means unable or unwilling. So in other words, you are not able or don't want to communicate with other people. I often use this when I don't have my mobile phone with me. I tell my family and friends, hey, well, not my friends, but I tell my family and wife, I'm going to be in that place all day and I'm not going to have my mobile phone, so I will be incommunicado. Okay, in other words, I will be unable to communicate with you. For example, he stayed incommunicado during his family holidays. I love being incommunicado during my family holidays. All right, number 12 is suave. Is this French or Spanish? I don't know, but suave exists in Spanish, which means soft, smooth, and we use this to describe a person's personality if they are charming, confident, elegant, smooth, polished. Many Hollywood actors, like Brad Pitt, have a suave public image. Okay, and another word to talk about somebody's public image is persona. Persona. Persona means person in Spanish, but in English, it's a public image, and particularly for the rich and famous. And we always use this with an adjective. For example, despite her bubbly persona, bubbly means very happy and joyful and funny. Okay, so despite her bubbly persona, she is very serious and focused on her career. So you could talk about a bubbly persona, a calm persona, a serious persona. And in each case, you're talking about their personality. The next one is matador. And a matador is the person who fights a bull in a bullfight. I like this because matador, or matador, literally means killer in Spanish, but we use it to describe the person who kills a bull in the bullfights. He worked as a matador for many years, but he's retired now. Okay, number 15 is cafeteria. Spanish is cafeteria, but we change the stress and we say cafeteria. A lot of students mispronounce this, but just think that when I go to a cafeteria, I normally drink tea. Tea. Focus on the T. Cafeteria. If you do that, you'll pronounce it perfectly. And a cafeteria in English is actually a restaurant or a place, a big hall where you go to eat, where you serve yourself. You get a tray and you put the food on your plate, usually, then pay, and then go and sit on a table with other people. That's a cafeteria. It's not the same thing as a cafe where you go to something like Starbucks and have a cup of coffee. And the next one is a tornado, which is a violent windstorm, which has this cylindrical shape. Like in The Wizard of Oz, there's a huge destructive tornado. And tornado, again, is a word that we have just taken directly from Spanish and use all the time in English. So as I said before, English is such a rich language. We have so many words from so many different languages. So if you want me to make a similar video, remember, leave a comment, tell me your language. If possible, write one word that you know we use in English from your language. And remember to download the free PDF, because that has many more words that we have taken from Spanish that I have not included in this lesson. All right, thanks for watching, and adios, amigo. Or as we say in English, adios, amigo. Bye for now.